good morning, good afternoon, good night, whenever you will watch this video. So today our topic is the difference between fire tube boiler and water tube boiler. So now I hope you are ready with your pen and paper. Note down each and every points. So we'll start with the first difference. That first difference is based on the definition. That definition of fire tube boiler is what? That inside of the tube flue gases are present and outside of the tube water is present. Then same way water tube boiler means what? That inside of the tube water is present and outside of the tube flue gases are present, opposite of both. Second one is which one? The examples of fire tube boilers. Which are the examples? That Cochrane boiler, locomotive boiler, Lancashire boiler, etc. And example for water tube boilers are Babcock Wilcox boiler, then Benson boiler, then Stirling boiler, etc. Now next is what? That fire tubes are used in low pressure boiler or medium pressure boiler having the pressure range which is below 80 bar, and in front of that water tubes are used in the high pressure boilers having the pressure range above 80 bar. Now next is what? That steam production rate of that fire tube boiler is very much less, because that fire tubes are used in low pressure boilers or medium pressure boiler. As the pressure of boiler is low and medium, that is why its steam production rate is very much less. And that water tubes are used in high pressure boilers, that is why water tube boiler has a high production rate, and we can produce the steam having 300 kg per hour. That means in 1 hour 300 kg of steam we can produce, and that is known as very high production steam rate. Now next is that fire tube boilers are used in internally fired boiler, and water tube boilers are used in externally fired boiler. Now in internally fired boiler, what's happened? That furnace is located inside of the boiler, and over here in externally fired boiler, what's happened? Furnace is located outside of the boiler. So fire tubes are used in internally fired boiler, in which furnace is located inside of the boiler, and the water tubes are used in externally fired boiler, in which furnace is located outside of the boiler. Now that fire tube boilers are used in small production industries like sugar industry, cloth industries, and chemical industries, in which production rate is very much small as compared to water tube boilers, because water tube boilers are used in the high production rate for power plants. Like in power plants, we are producing the steam to generate the power. Now next is the risk of fire tube boiler is very much less. Why? Because fire tubes are used in low pressure or medium pressure boiler, so pressure is very much less. That is why risk of accident is very much less, so that boiler cannot burst due to the high pressure. But in the case of a water tube boiler, what we can say, that risk of accident is very much high. Why? Because water tubes are used in the over here high pressure boilers. That means in high pressure boiler pressure is very much high, so there may be a chance that boiler may burst, so accident chances are very much high in the case of water tube boiler. Now next is what? That it requires very much more floor space. That means floor area requirement is very much high with the help of fire tube boiler, and over here requirement of floor space area is very much less. So we can say advantage of that water tube boiler is what? It requires very much less floor space area. Next is what? That maintenance of fire tube boiler is very much difficult. Why? Maintenance of fire tube boiler is very much difficult because fire tubes are used in internally fired boiler, and in internally fired boiler furnace is located inside of the boiler. That means if you want to do the maintenance of fire tube boiler, at that time you have to perform the maintenance of fire tube boiler as well as with furnace also. So maintenance of fire tube boiler is difficult, but that maintenance of water tube boiler is very much easy. Why? Because water tube boilers are used in externally fired boiler, water tubes are used in externally fired boiler, and in externally fired boiler furnace is located outside of the boiler. That means we have to perform the maintenance only for boiler, not for the furnace, as furnace is completely located outside of the boiler. Now next is water treatment is not required in the case of fire tube boiler. But water treatment is required in the case of water tube boiler. Why? Because as you know that in water tube boiler, inside of the pipe water is present, and inside of the water if some impurities are there, so due to that what's happened, pipe of the water tube may be jammed, so your boiler cannot work. So to avoid this type of jamming of water inside of the tube, water treatment process is required for the water. Now last one is which one? That water fire tube boiler, your unskilled worker can operate, but water tube boiler operation, it can be done by the skilled worker only. So these are the differences between fire tube boilers and water tube boilers. Now I would like to end this video. Till then, read hard, work hard. Thank you very much.